Hello, welcome to eyebrow.com. Today we are going to draw eyes. So just gonna draw both eyes because I have a lot of comment down on my other eye video. I have about two, and you guys saying you can't draw two eyes. So now I'm just gonna do a really quick demo. It's a 15-minute drawings, so it's not like as realistic as could be. It's not that refined, so I'm just gonna show you some tip and technique. Alright, let's get started. So here we go. I start off with the vertical line and the horizontal line, and you probably can't really see that because it's kind of light. And I start off with one almond shape. I was gonna say walnut, I don't know why, and another almond shape. That's so those are two eyes, and the vertical line in the middle is representing where the nose will line up. And another tip for drawing both eyes is like in between, in the middle, the width in between two eyes equal the width of an eye. So whatever the eye you draw, the width of the the almond shape, the shape of the eyes you draw, is going to equal the in between space. So just imagine there's a third eye in the middle, so it's going to be easier for you to draw and keep the space on the eyes. Anyways, and when I draw, I usually draw an eyebrows also, because it doesn't really make sense without the eyebrows. I mean, you could, but so now there's two eyes, and you can see like in the corner of the eyes that has a little pointy curvy thing coming down right next to the nose bridge. And now I'm just using the side of the pencil to glaze over and adding some lighter indication of value like above the nose bridge. And and if you notice on the eye socket, the natural light coming from top. So, and your eye socket, the deeper your eye socket are, the darker the shadow is going to be on the area of your your in between your eyes and your eyebrows. And most people have eye socket that are deep enough, so it's usually cast a shadow. And make sure that both of your eyes are slightly equal, and it doesn't matter how symmetric some people's face are, they never look the same. So don't worry about it. It doesn't look exactly the same, because if you look at yourself in the mirror and just use a big piece of a square, like big piece of paper, and looking at one half of your face in the mirror and then switch to the other half, it looks totally different. And if you can just make a symmetrical of each side of your face, you look like a totally two different person. So don't worry about making it each eye exactly the same, because most people, both sides, don't look the same. I don't think anybody does. Anyways, so now after I drew the construction line or the light shape, I start drawing light first, because I just want to make sure if all the proportional are correct, and so that I don't go too far and I notice the mistake later on, and that would be too late to fix. So I go light, and the area that will get dark usually is on the side of the nose bridge, both sides of the nose bridge, that around that the Bermuda Triangle, and the area around your eyes, the beginning of your eyebrows, and the side of your nose bridge. Those are the area that get dark. Those are like the dark corner. And right now I'm trying to build it up, the graphite. And the reason it's called building it up is because you layering your graphite. So you kind of draw or glaze a lighter value, and then you draw on top again, like what I'm doing right now. Make it darker by drawing on top of it, and it works. And it's also you can work a larger area, the area that you already rendered or already shaped. You can glaze over, and the area you already shaped will get darker. And also the end of the tail of the eyes, like the corner of the tail eyes, I don't know what it's called. Um, Also have that, you know, kind of dark that what I just um, rendered previously. And now I'm painting the iris, and naturally I'm adding some shadow onto the top of the eyeball, right next to the, you know, um, below the eyelash, because the eyelash is kind of like the what do you call, the roof or the deck roof, the roof of the deck. It casts shadow. The thicker the eyelash, the more shadow it casts onto your eyeballs. So you see some, usually your eyeballs will be darker on the top and it's get lighter as it comes to the bottom, because the shadow that casts from the eyelash. Um, the more you draw, I draw for years professionally, is the more you notice things that you don't usually notice. And especially if you go to a live drawing session, you will notice that things that you would never notice if you only use reference. I recommend go to live drawing. You notice a bunch of things from a real person, real life, like how the lighting interact with a person actually, because people move around, they're not pictures, and they're better. And then when you come to use a reference, you have a better understanding of what and why and how. And this is a kneaded eraser. You can use that to lift off, part of your graphite or part of your pencil. And but eraser, if your line is going too dark and you build it up too much, you can't, some part can be erased and it's going to leave some mark, that's for sure. That's why most of the time I will trying to build it up from lighter, and then I'll go building it up to be darker. And now I just use pencil on the side and glaze over everything, just to kind of like make a mid-tone of a skin tone. I can't, usually you don't want to leave your paper white, because you got to add some value into the skin a little bit, because nobody has the paper white shade or tone of a skin. So you gotta glaze over and add some shade to it. Doesn't matter how light the skin is, paper is the whitest. And now I'm adding, building up some value right there, and in between the eyes and the eyebrows that get really dark, and around the triangle. And then I'm adding, building on top the eyelash. There you go. And as you can, if you notice, I'm drawing from the left to the right, because I'm drawing with right-handed, and it's kind of a safer, way to go, because once I finish with the left, my palm wouldn't glaze over, the other area. If I finish the right first and then I draw on the left later, then my palm would, I can only lift it up for so long. If I draw for a long time, then my palm would eventually rest down there, and it will, might smear and ruin some of the value that you're supposed to be the exact value there. So it's safer if you left-handed, then go from right to left, and if you right-handed, go from left to right, to prevent the smearing, the accident smearing. And now I'm drawing the lower eyelid. Most people don't notice that you have lower eyelid, and most people tend not to put them down when they draw eyes or drawing portrait, because overdoing it will make the picture look kind of odd, or make the person, he or she, looks a little older. But it's there. You can subtly put it in. You don't have to emphasize that much, but just to know that it's there, creating the edge in between the lower eyelid to the cheekbones, because they have that change of plane happen. And now I'm painting the pupil. Also, if you notice the highlight, I leave in the highlight right here, and I'm trying not to touch it. I can lift it up later on and make it whiter. But if the highlight is coming from on the left of this iris, then it's going to also be on the left of this iris, not on the right. So make sure if the lighting coming this direction, this is a sphere shape, this is a sphere shape, the light's going to be hitting on the same side of the sphere. Anyways, and now I'm rendering the iris. I'm building up more I'm trying to make a darker eyelash. And as I said, it's always getting lighter as it's going lower, because the shadow that cast by the eyelash. And trying to add a darker value around there, and now the shadow and going up, and now I'm going to paint, not paint, build up darker value for the eyebrows and the side of the nose bridge. So as you can see, it's getting darker. Now it's kind of taking shape. The change of plane happens right in between the nose bridge, and I'm adding the shape of the eyebrows. And when I shade, I usually tend to do directional shading, which means I'm going the same direction, as you can see. Let's go, and as I build up over trying to paint the eyebrows, I try to look at the direction of the hair of the eyebrows, and I'll just trying to go with the same direction of the hair, like the root of the hair. As you can see, I'm trying to mimic it, and I'll go using the tip if I need it, the tip of the pencil, and I'll use the side of the pencil if I just want to glaze over and I want a big area to render. And trying to use whatever side, tip, whatever area you want. And it depends on how you sharpen your pencil. If you sharpen your pencil with having a longer graphite part, then you have a tendency of finishing faster when you're trying to cover more area. But on the flip side, it's easier to break. And now I'm going to do the same thing with the other eyes. So I'm just building it up, eyebrows, and at this stage I'm feeling pretty confident I can go a little faster, because the hardest part is to construct the shape that you want to draw. You want to make sure that the proportion is correct. You want to make sure the distance in between body parts are properly set up, and those are very important. The foundation, very important. If your drawing in the beginning is not correct, or the measurement is not there, then it doesn't matter how well you rendered, it's not gonna look good. So most importantly, one really important tip is to make sure that the proportions are correct before you're going in and trying to render. Don't get too excited. Be patient. If the proportion is not correct, don't even bother to render it, because it's not gonna look cool. So when you draw, trying to get your proportional correct first, you can measure by use your pencil to measure part and parts. Some people, I'm not encouraging this, but some people are doing this, drawing the scale metric things, which I don't really see the point. It's not fun. I just like to do freehand, and the more you draw, the better you get, and the freehand will get more natural feel of, you get more life into it, because it does. Sometimes the portrait doesn't look exactly the same, but is look like the person, but it doesn't look exactly the same, if you know what I mean. This might be a little bit off here. And now I'm just rendering eyebrows. We're almost done here, so thanks for being patient and watch this. I don't think I have that many tips left. So, and again, when you draw the eyebrows and build over, just draw with the directional eyebrows, and then around the side of the eyeball also have shadow, both side. That that your eyes, both side, at the round side edge that going into the eye socket. Also at the edge, around the edge of the iris, it's also pretty dark. And the lower eyelash, you can just give it a hint. And when if you professional drawer, if you trying to do the eyelash, don't draw every single eyelash. Just give it a hint. It's about light and shadow, and if you trying to do light and shadow correctly, it will come off. You don't have to like count every single eyelash. Am I doing this eyelash correct? Am I not doing this eyelash correct? But if you're having fun doing that, and you're having fun being, you know, really super meticulous and super accurate, then by all means go ahead. But what I usually do is I usually just, you know, get an overall picture, trying to make it look good, and look at the light and the shadow. And other than that, it's, you know, beyond me. But once you get your value correct, your drawing correct, everything should be fine, and you know, you can spend more time painting. But drawing is a good practice for like rendering. But if your value is off, then your drawing is not going to be good. Okay, so the most important thing is your drawing has to be correct. Like the foundation has to be there, and that's very important before you start rendering. Don't rush into the rendering. If your drawing is not accurate, if your drawing is not correct, don't render, because you can waste your time. For like, if you are slow, then it's gonna be hours. Even if you're fast, I'm still mad if, you know, like my drawing is not correct and I render for like 20 minutes. I'll be like, you know, it's a lot of time spent not good, and the work is not well executed. So as an artist, you have to try to improve all the time, and that's the tip I could give you. You know, like trying to be accurate to begin with before you render. So get all your proportion right. Anyways, thanks for coming to visit eyebrow.com. Have a good day. Bye bye.